1,000 more times. We go back. We're going to click on this. We're going to go into edit. We're going to change the... Maybe my stupid fucking dumbass avatar thing is fucking it up. I'm going to turn that off here in a second. Okay, yes, that's great. Oh, it says stream finished. No, that's not right. Okay, we gotta edit this one. That. Where is the stupid game thing? Okay, I'm gonna try and get this fucker going. Hold on. Launch the game. Go. The stream program is not getting it. The stream program is not getting it. Why is the stream program not getting it? And then Noita does not respond after that. Kill avatar. The avatar program caused it to not work. 1 second, chat. Switching over to the other one. Okay, we got the other avatar up. We're gonna try Noita again. There we go. We got ourselves some Noita. Now let's wait and see if that shit's up on here and we see it. Okay, there's the other avatar. And now Noita is not responding. Fuck my ass. Noita does not like this. It must be OBS. It must be OBS causes it to fuck up. So when we get this shit going, I officially cannot fucking click off of it. So I have to sit here and wait and see if it shows up on the stream. Because I can't click out of the game or the game fucks up and is permanently broken and I can't do it. Okay, I see it on the stream. So I assume it's going to work. And I mean, it's getting game audio and I see mic audio hidden under the window that I can't do anything about because... And I think I broke it. Oh, no I didn't. Okay, cool. So I can officially shift tab for the Steam overlay and that won't break it. Okay, good. Okay, good. Again, I don't know what the fuck is happening. Okay. Sorry about that, chat. I had 8 million problems. Some random combination of one. I feel like I'm playing Homebody again. I'm trying to solve some insane puzzle. And things are not working, and I'm like getting stabbed in the neck 8,000 times, and it's driving. We're fine. We're fine. We're okay. We're fine. Noita's working. We're good. We're good. We're good. Noita is here. It is happening. It is successful. We're moving forward. I just have to keep reaffirming to myself that we're succeeding. Because, yeah, I don't know if you know about this about me, chat, but when things are out of my control, I tend to start freaking the hell out. And my tendency to want to destroy and otherwise maim everything in sight goes higher and higher and higher and higher, and I have to regain control or I lose it. I cannot tell you the number of times, and you guys have seen it, you've literally seen it on stream, where I'm just like out of control. And I can't get out of the tailspin. But the stream is going. It's recording. I have audio. Everything's good. Everything's kosher. I needed a decompression from Homebody because it was stressful and I wanted to get out of it. I wanted to get away from it. I wanted to be done with it, and I am. So some of that anxiety for Homebody was actually self-created because I set a deadline of Halloween. Like there was that was my Halloween game of this year, and I'm like, I gotta beat this. I gotta get through this. I gotta do this. I gotta play this. I wasn't even gonna play it tonight, chat. I wasn't even going to play it. I didn't feel like it. I wanted to. This is my Friday night. I wanted to have a good time. I wanted to relax. I wanted to be chill. And instead, I chose anxiety and tension and just discomfort. I forced it on myself. Which, then pressure. I put pressure on myself to finish it quickly because I was like, oh gosh, the killer's stabbing me over and over and I'm not getting away and this is probably going to be really boring and just 1,000 other silly little self-imposed madnesses, right? I can feel the game's storytelling wrapping itself around me, which I guess is exactly what Rory or Jory or whoever wanted, is for the story to kind of envelop you, which it did. I mean it was gripping. It was very weird and wild and crazy, and some of it didn't make any sense. I seriously don't know who Laura was. Out of all the children that were with us at the old house at the beginning, I don't remember Laura. I remember Gary, who was the African American kid who joked about dying, and the pompadour dude Cliff, who was a giant dickhole. And Francine, obviously was our ally in madness. She was aware of the insanity that was occurring. She could see through the Matrix somehow. The insane brain deteriorating disease that we were afflicted with, so too was she. She joined us in that everlasting nightmare. And for a while there, it seemed like maybe she was just like the other kids, where she had no idea what was happening. But then at the same time, it makes me wonder, okay, did the other kids know also that they were in an endless loop nightmare where they were dying over and over? And Francine helped us. She solved some of the puzzles for us by opening some doors and making things easier. Because we didn't have to do the puzzle to open the fuse box, to open the panel in the living room, to turn on power, to open the attic. Francine did that. So Francine was aware. She was conscious and was helping us. But what about the other kids, like Cliff and Gary and I guess Laura? What were they doing? Just waiting to die over and over, not giving a fuck? I don't know. It's one of those mysteries that I guess we'll never know. I think it's supposed to be really open to interpretation, because a lot of what I was reading about it, I looked at the reviews after I played the first couple hours and I did the first stream. I wanted to see what people were saying about it because I didn't look at the reviews beforehand. And that was a lot of them were like, I didn't finish it. It was annoying, or like it was so open ended. I don't know what the fuck it meant. And I'm not entirely sure. I know what the hell the thing. I don't know if I know what the real point of that whole adventure was. Other than, like I said, I think it has to do with the fact that we saw. I think the thing is the house belonged to Parker, or like he was a resident there, and he suffered from a lot of the same shit that we did, where he was like just staying in the old crusty house all the time and never really leaving it. And so I feel like the killer had two forms. It had the weird form with the face, where the pointed head and like the strange little smile mouth underneath. I think that was him. I think that homunculus was supposed to represent Parker. And when it had the like weird tendrils, I think that's when it's supposed to represent us, Emily. But again, that's just kind of me thinking out loud. I don't really think I fully understand what I was seeing. And I don't think that a lot of other people that played it understood it either. But I mean, I guess that's kind of how art is, right? Like, you look at a piece of art, like the Mona Lisa or whatever, and it's like, what is that supposed to mean? It's just a picture of a lady sitting and smiling, kind of. But she's not, like, really smiling. She's just kind of, like, smiling and looking to the left or right. It's like a photo that you take. Someone's not looking at the camera. They're just kind of staring off in space. And, you know, they're not, like, showing a ton of emotion. They're just kind of neutral. So it's like, what does anything mean? When you take a picture, when you do an art piece, when you do anything, what does it mean? I think we're always trying to find meaning. Like, we crave it. We crave to understand. And sometimes there are things we just don't understand. Things we just don't get, and we never will. Like, again, when I see a movie that has an extremely obvious meaning and plot, and then I think to myself, well, you know, what does it actually mean? What is the real meaning? Because the meaning is people don't change, but like, what is the real meaning? What is the thing I'm not getting? What part of this is not clicking for my brain? But yeah, it was a mind fuck for sure. Where's the throw button? E? Which button is throw? There it is. But yeah, it was interesting. I'm glad I finished it, even though I cheated. Because I feel like I felt like I owed the guy, or like the people, the guy. Like I'm reducing it to one dude, even though it was a huge team of people. Well, maybe not a huge team, but you know, more than one person. And I'm just reducing it to the one guy whose name it was at the top. But it's like, I feel like I owed it to the creators of Homebody to play it all the way through and see the end. Because there was an end. For a minute there, when I got to the accumulator in the attic and I threw all the, like, the generators and did the lightning rod and all that shit, I was like, oh god, it's done. I did it. And then it was like, there's more! And I'm like, I was losing my mind. Because it's like, there's nothing left. I don't know what to do. So a nudge of, hey, open your like suitcase and there's a clue inside. Like, we opened that briefcase when we first came to the house. We'd already done that. So there was nothing, absolutely nothing that would, I mean, again, maybe I just didn't pay attention. Maybe one of those weird little flesh body dudes that they were talking about, the little lumps. Maybe one of them comes over and starts fucking with the briefcase and I just never saw it. Because I was like losing my mind of shit, this game should be done and it's not. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know how I missed whatever it was that I missed. But I didn't know to open the briefcase. And then I was just like, I want to be done. So I just looked it up so I could get done. But I felt like I owed it. I could have just kept playing and tried to figure it out before I looked it up, but I don't know. I guess it went on long enough that I was like, okay, this has been, you know, I solved the three, well, I guess I didn't, because, you know, I had to look up the answer to the lightning rod thing, but I figured out the puzzle with the pumps. I figured out the other shit with the other I did a decent amount. I obviously effed up the part with the shapes in the water room. I thought I had to make a hexagon. I did not have to make a hexagon. That was false. That was incorrect. But we got there. And I think that's really the important thing, is that we got there. We got to the end of the video game, and we beat the video game. So, I think that's kind of an important thing, that if you're struggling with a game, and you have a way to make it easier, and you want to beat the game because you want to see what the end is like, just beat the game. Just use the cheats, look it up, figure it out, get it done. Because here's something that I will impart on you, chat. Something I will tell you that I understand and that I want to share is that I am burning to death. No, I'm just kidding. Time is valuable, okay? Some people obviously already have this figured out, but like, time is incredibly valuable. It's the one thing you have that you lose and can't get back. Think about it. You start your life as a, you know, protozoa heading towards another collection of cells or whatever, but you have a certain amount of time. And that time is always decreasing, right? Because you're getting closer and closer to your inevitable death. You have so much time available, and that's it. Now I want you to think about Elon Musk. This bro has all the money he could ever spend. All the money in the world. And he is just, I need more. I need more. I need more. Jeff Bezos, I need more. I need more. I need more. I need to control people, make them into my slaves, so I can keep getting more. They're just obsessed. And you know what the sad thing about that shit is? There is an infinite supply of money. It's paper. It's not even, doesn't actually hold any value. It's just fucking paper with ink on it. Or in the case of Elon Musk, it's stocks. Stonks. And them stonks is just a number in a computer system that says X stonk is worth X money that he doesn't even actually physically possess. It's just made up bullshit. But he can't help it. He can't stop. He needs that stupid damn number to go even higher and higher and higher until it just, like, it's like, bro, when are you satisfied? And the answer is never. That man is concerned about a number that could literally go infinitely into time. Like, you could just keep adding ones and zeros and fives and sevens and whatever. You can just keep adding that number up and up and up and up and increment it to infinity. It doesn't matter. It's just a fucking number. And I suppose I'm being a little biased. I'm being a little judgmental. And I'm telling someone like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos that they shouldn't care about money, that they're stupid for wasting their time. But the point is, chat, that we can make up as much money as we want. There's no limit. The thing that is limited, on the other hand, is time. And so, the thing I already kind of knew and was trying to, do was time. And again, I could have spent the time playing Homebody and figuring it out and not being dumb. But it's like Vinny. There's so many games to play, there's so little time to play them. And yet here I am playing a game that I've beaten and just keep replaying 1,000 more times, and it has no point. But I don't know. It's like how the thing about time and it being limited is, how do you want to spend it? What do you want to do with your time? Because that's kind of the other thing, is choice. The movie The Matrix is like, what if we don't have a choice? What if we don't get to make our destiny and it's already pre-decided? What if there is such a thing as fate? And everything that we see in front of us is the illusion of a choice that we already have made, and we just have to figure out why we made that choice. But the important thing is that you don't think about that. Just make the choice. Because those two things, choice and time, are inexorably linked. The longer you spend thinking about a choice, the more your time disappears. That limited time that you can only lose and never get back, ever so quickly disappears as you continue to sit thinking about the choices you make. So the answer is just make the choice. Just do it. Just decide and go. Pick a left or a right or wrong, a 1 or a 0, and just move. Stop wasting time. Which is funny because when Dan and Aaron are playing Poppy's Playtime, which is something I've been kind of watching on YouTube, it says to stop wasting time when they die, or when Aaron dies. So I think this is kind of something that popped into my brain as I was rambling about time and how limited it is. But we all have regrets with how we spend our time. I mean, I could be out doing a number of things that would improve my life if I spent the time doing them. And just like Homebody, I am spending time by myself at home instead of spending time with other people outside of my house. But I have plans this weekend. I'm going to meet up with friends and get out of my house. And I might go see my parents on tomorrow, Saturday. But the point is, I'm not stuck in a loop. I'm not trapped, going insane, leaving myself sticky notes all over the place. I'm just killing time. Which is funny because I keep trying to say that time is valuable and important and stop wasting it. And here I am doing just that. But it's all how you frame it. Am I wasting time or am I enjoying myself? I would say right now I'm enjoying myself, even though I am burning to death. But yeah, it's a bit of a trip. You gotta try to grapple with your perspective of life and reality and self-worth and a lot of extremely heavy subjects that really kind of put you in like a existential crisis, and you're just like trying to bring yourself back to earth from this really long winding passage of thoughts and concepts. But all of that philosophical nonsense aside, chat, I'm gonna also throw out some other recommendations for you. If you want to play a game that's fun, I'm gonna recommend Proteus. I know this is it's a kind of a bit of a random thing for me to say after all that heavy stuff, but Proteus is a good game, and I think everyone should play it. At least anyone that likes old school boomer shooters. Because that shit was really cool and fun. And I kept thinking, I'm gonna get to the end of the shit, and I just keep coming across new stuff. Like, that shit is long. That Proteus is a long game. Which I guess Doom is not terribly short either, when you think about all the chapters and stuff. But like, Proteus is good. You guys, if you like those kinds of shooters, play Proteus. It's good. I was enjoying that as well. I'm also enjoying the Zelda game, but I'm not going to give Nintendo any free advertisement because, again, I'm mad at their legal team. So, I'm not going to talk to you about that. I'm also not going to talk to you about Mario Party, even though I also was enjoying that too. You guys can find information on that and look that shit up for yourselves. I will tell you about Proteus. I will gush to you about Proteus because, as far as I know, Proteus's legal team people, if they have any, have not been going on a rampage against other innocent game devs who, may have made an idea adjacent to their thing. So, I don't need to complain about Proteus and tell you that the people behind Proteus are somehow bad, because they're not. At least not that I know of. They could be bad behind the scenes and we don't know. But point being, Proteus is good. It's a shooter like Doom, classic, kind of old schooly. It's in 3D though. It's made, I think, in Unity, and it is very good, very satisfying. Like personally, one of my favorite things is the punch, because you have the unarmed, don't have a gun punch, but in Proteus, you have both triggers, left and right, are your two fists. So you alternate tapping between the two, and your character just starts boxing. And it's awesome. No chainsaw to speak of, so it loses a point for that, because old school shooter must have chainsaw, in my opinion. Like, the best game ever for chainsaw is Shadow Warrior 2, because it literally lets you carve enemies, which is insane. Because it not only do you get chainsaw and can kill enemies with it, but you literally get to choose where you like turn. You can like angle the saw and like make it actually cut them up. It's crazy. But yeah, so Proteus has the old school feel of Doom. It's got some really funky weapons that are very interesting. A lot of them are similar to Doom weapons. Like, it's got a plasma rifle, it has a shotgun, it has a rocket launcher. So there's some classics. There's like a sniper, laser sniper thing. But then it's got some really weird ones that I'm not going to spoil, because they're cool and interesting, and you know, I don't want to. I don't want to spoil it. It's cool. I want you to see for yourself. I want you to curiously be like, oh, what sick weapons am I gonna find? Because there's some pretty weird ones, and maybe there is a chainsaw, and I just haven't gotten there yet because I haven't beaten it. But yeah, I'm having a good time with that shit. That's one I've been kind of going back to every so often. I feel guilty that I didn't go back to play Besieged because they updated the water levels. I think they actually added more, and I just kind of refused to go back since I beat it already. But like, again, I was just not really doing very good with the water stuff, so I didn't want to do it because I wasn't doing good. So if the Besieged devs could add a way to like get I mean, I guess I could do workshop stuff, right? I could get somebody else's thing and use it, but just like, I don't know how to make a boat or a submarine in that game. And that kind of is like really important, because all of those missions involve submarining or boating, and I just cannot do it. So I just don't want. I don't feel like going back to that. But I keep edging. I'm so incredibly sorry to keep edging Riven VR. I know I keep saying I'm gonna do it, and I really am. The thing that was stopping me from playing it, like this last week, I got distracted by No Man's Sky, first of all, and second of all, I wanted to beat Homebody. I wanted to get that done because I didn't want to leave that unfinished. And we did it. We beat Homebody. So with that out of the way, it's just gonna be any Halloween stuff, and then literally there's only like 6 days to Halloween. So once Halloween is over, Spook Month is also over. And we don't need to then worry about doing topically Halloween spoopy related streaming content. So I can focus on just things that need to get done, like Riven. So again, I apologize for anyone that may have wanted me to play that and is like have been waiting for months. Like, I'm pretty sure, didn't Riven come out a full ass year ago? Here, let me revel in my shame for just a moment. I'm afraid to get out of this, so I'm just going to do the web browser in the overlay. It's I want to go to the Steam store. Okay, and then I want to look at Riven. When did that come out? That was... When did this come out? Oh, that was this year. That was this summer. That was June of this year. I thought it was like a year ago. Because I thought this was Next Fest. I thought I saw this at Next Fest. And Next Fest just happened like a week ago. So I was like, oh shit, it's been like a full year since Riven came out. But no. This came out this summer. Was there 2 Next Fests? Was there like a Next Fest spring and a Next Fest fall? Is that what happened? I'm really confused, chat. Maybe somebody can enlighten me in the comments. But I feel like there were 2 Next Fests in 2024. Maybe I'm an idiot. But... and maybe I'm hallucinating it. But I swear that Riven came out during or after, slightly after a Next Fest. Because I remember I played the demo. And the demo did not allow you to play VR. It was just regular. The VR was the full release. And I was like all excited to play the game in VR after I did the demo. And I remember Bruce did the demo. Bruce Green. I watched him play it. Or no, he played the full game. He played the full game. He didn't play it in VR though. So I only watched him play a little bit because I didn't want to spoil the game because I remember bits and pieces of it, but I've never actually, like, the time that I played it was probably when I was literally like 12 or something, some really young age. So there are locations that I remember, like the part where there was a steam thing and we went inside the steam thing down a hole in the middle and there was like a lake with pipes. I remember a place where at the forest where we were kind of walking along a path and there was like trees and like a bunch of butterflies and shit. I remember that. I remember the part, like all of that first area where you start out and there's like the little trap chamber and there's like the golden dome and that room that's inside the golden, well, like across from it with like the water underneath. The part where there's like a room with like a statue where they're like offering shit to the like bug god or whatever it is. I remember the little tram ride, which in the old one you actually like watch a movie, which I think this one had the movie too, but you didn't get to see that in VR, which was, I thought I was a little disappointed because I wanted to see it in VR, but probably would have made a ton of people motion sick, so I get why they didn't have it. Oh my god, I have 746 fucking gold, jeez. What am I doing? There's a lot of Riven I remember, but it's mostly like just visual areas. Like, I even remember the part with the tree, I think. Like that thing where I flipped the log forward and there was like a symbol. I don't remember doing that, but I remember the area for some reason. It's just like when I go to a location in the game, it reawakens that part of my brain that's like, oh yeah, I was here. I remember this. I was here before. And there are some parts of the game that we've not gotten to that I remember. Like, I don't remember how I got there, because, again, I guess I apparently, like, lost all of the details. But there are events that take place in the later part of the game that I remember. Some locations that we have not gotten to, and we will probably get there, hopefully. So, yeah, I apologize for edging that so hard, but we are going to get there. Like, I was going to stream that last weekend, and I just didn't, for some reason. I think the voting fiasco on Sunday was a bit more problematic than I wanted it to be. I didn't tell the story about everything that took place, which I guess I can now. So my plan was get on the bus with my e-bike that I have, vote at the place where you vote, which is literally right next to the main bus stop downtown, and then go on the e-bike down to the Riverwalk that we have. That was the plan. Okay? So here's where things went wrong. The first thing that went wrong, which really wasn't anything actually that went wrong, it was more of a choice that I made, was that I thought, okay, I can't take the e-bike because, you know, there's not going to be... I remembered that it has, like, I was like, oh, there's a basket. I have a basket on the back. The basket's going to make it so it doesn't fit in, like, this little weird rack thing the bus has on the front of it. So I was like, okay, I will take my regular bike, right? So I get to the bus stop, which already I was like freaking the hell out because I saw the bus pass me. Because I was just toddling along, not really going very fast, thinking I had a lot of time, and I saw the bus pass me. And I was like, wait a minute. Why is it so early? What the hell? So I went faster and pedaled faster to get there quickly. And then it was like, okay, they got there, they parked, and then the bus driver just kind of walked away. And I was left at the bus. And it was like, okay, I made it. We're good. But then the problem was, how do I get the bike into the thing, the carrying slot? Because it's folded up. You got to unfold it. How do you unfold it? I pulled it down with as much strength as I could. I mean, I didn't want to break it, so I didn't pull too hard. It just wasn't coming down. So I was like, okay, there's a lever, there's a pulley, something. And I could not figure it out. So I was standing there waiting for the bus driver to return, tapping my foot with my bike just standing outside the bus, freaking out because I was like, they're going to come back, I'm not going to get the thing on there in time, it's going to be a hassle, I may miss the bus, whatever, blah blah blah. So they come back. And the lady was like, I thought you knew what you were doing. And I'm like, no. So she reveals that there's a random bar that you pull down or push up or something, and it makes the thing activate, like I suspected. There was some stupid trick to it. And I was frustrated that, you know, it would have been nice if there had been instructions of any kind anywhere on the thing showing, hey, pull this bar, do something with this, like literally just painting the bar red where you pull on it would have been enough. So I get the bike in the rack. I hop on the bus. About halfway to my destination, I start feeling around for the bike lock. Because I remember I took the bike lock that was coiled around my bike bar and I put it on the handlebar of the bike with the intention of keeping it with me on the bus because I didn't want it to fall. You know, I didn't want it to rotate and like fall off of the bike or slam into the bars, you know, damage the bus. Something bad would have happened. So I took it off. But see, in the fluster of not knowing how the fuck to put it on the goddamn bike rack thing, I left it on the handlebar as the bus drove and shook violently, going through potholes and just feeling like the bus was gonna fucking fall apart. So I correctly assumed that when I didn't tell the bus to stop, I didn't go look to see if it was there. It was like, I'm just gonna sit here, I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna let this go, I'm not gonna worry about it until it's a problem. Sure enough, I get to the bus stop at the downtown, I get out, I look at the bike, there's no bike lock. So I had no bike lock because it fell off mid transportation and I lost it, which meant I had no way to secure the bike during me going in to vote. And I either had to take the chance of letting it sit at a bike rack, not locked to the rack, and God knows how long the voting process was going to take. It could have been forever long line, could have taken me hours, and then my bike would have been sitting there unguarded, unprotected for hours. Surely it would have gotten stolen. So I was like, okay, I cannot just let the bike sit. I gotta get a bike lock. So I go about looking for places downtown to buy one, and of course this is downtown. There's no Walmart, there's no Target, no Myers, no nothing. But there's like this like GXC store, like some little market, some little shop, some silly little thing. I go in. I wait patiently for the people to be available. I ask, do you have a bike lock in here, or do you know a place where I can get one? They're like, no, we don't have one. And they pull out their phone and Google, which actually before I went in the shop, I actually looked on my phone for a bike lock place, or a place that sold bike locks, and I found a place that was like Locksmith, something locks, and it was basically where this store was, or at least the Google Maps results said it was there. So I ride my bike around, going through this fucking alley. I went back and forth in this alley like twice. And there were some dudes just chilling in the alley, like not, and you know, I don't, one guy I feel like was sitting on the ground, the other guy was maybe like walking around doing something. I wasn't paying too much attention to them. And, you know, a part of me was thinking these men might decide to shank me, because I'm in an alley, there's men here, and I'm on a bike with a very clear indication that I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But I didn't worry about it. I kept focused. I tried to find this place. I looked at Street View on my phone to see where in God's name this place was. Because I was like, the street that it says it's on was the alley. So the alley is like, imagine a plus sign, right? Two lines intersecting in the middle, forming a plus sign. Imagine that in your head. So, in the middle, the very center of this plus sign is where the alley and this other alley converge, right? At that spot, there's a sign. There's two road. There's like, you at an intersection, there's two road signs. There was a sign that said such and such street in the fucking alley. And I'm like, bruh, this street is the alley. What the fuck? Why is there an alley that has a street name? So I looked at the street view. I found the space based on the other buildings in the pictures of Street View of where this stupid place was supposed to be. And the door that I think that was supposed to be the focus of the picture had some like piece of paper on it or something, and it was clearly not there anymore. So I dicked with my phone and was like, bro, this doesn't exist. And I kept passing this GXC store a million times, so I was like, okay, I'll just go in there. I'll ask them if they for some reason have a bike lock. Probably they won't, and where I can find one. And as I said, I waited for them to tend to me, and I got directions to a different place that they said sold e-bikes. It was on a street called Mass Ave or Massachusetts Avenue. And I went there, and they thankfully did have rather expensive bike locks. Like this lock that I got is not... It was one of them bar ones that's like a U shape that connects to a singular... like a U feeding into a solid bar, and you put the key in, it takes the U away from the bar, and then you can put the U back in and lock it, essentially. It's hard. It's like a hard metal lock thing that has rubber coating or something on the outside. It's not flexible, is what I'm trying to get at. My old one that I lost that fell off of my bike and went to hell was a flexible one. So I could like put it on something that was weird shaped if I had to. This one is literally like, it will not reach more than a couple of feet, or like inches. It literally has a couple of inches of clearance, and it better be a straight pole. So I paid a decent amount of money, probably way too much money for this bike lock. I went back, I voted. I then went to the Riverwalk. I went my one side of the Riverwalk all the way down to the other. I got tired. I went to the bus stop. I waited like an hour at the bus stop because, well, I think it's more like 45 minutes, but I couldn't quite time getting there perfectly because, it left every hour on the hour. Well, not like it said 3:50 on the schedule, but the sign at the bus stop said the sign at the bus stop said 4 p.m. So I waited till 4 p.m. I got on the bus. I put my bike in the thing using the newly found knowledge of pull bar, open thing, I rode the bus home. When I got close enough, I decided to pull the cord and signify that I wanted to get off early at not like I was gonna wait to get to the bus stop where it was gonna sit there for a while, so I had plenty of time to get my bike off of the thing. But then it was like, okay, well, you know, maybe we're gonna. I knew we were coming up on the street post the bus stop that I left from. I was thinking I'd scope out the street on the way back to see if I could see the original bike lock if it fell off in the road somewhere. So as I'm getting out of the bus and I go to get my bike, I get my bike and I try to set it down, like I put the kickstand and I try to set it on the sidewalk, it falls over. I pick it up, I try to place it, it falls over again. The bus is probably not like enjoying me continually picking my bike up and putting it on a wobbly kickstand and having it fucking fall completely the fuck over, and I keep trying to pick it up because like I can't go to do the fucking, I can't put the stupid folding thing back in folded up mode and secure my bike so it doesn't fall over at the same time. So I'm getting, once again, losing control, losing my mind, losing my patience, getting really upset. I throw my fucking bike. I throw it angrily. And then I fold up the thing on the bus and it drives off. So then I'm like, okay, well, like, why is it falling over? What is causing it to not stand? So I put the kickstand down. I look at it. It's like bent. And it definitely wasn't like that before I threw it. For sure. So I bent it somehow. Or I think later when I fixed it at home, it looks like it can move. There's like a certain amount of play in the way it attaches somehow, I guess. I don't, but I still don't know if I did something to break it or if it was just like that. But like the kickstand was like bent and it wouldn't stand anymore. So that pissed me off. And then I rode home. I found the bike. I think I found the bike lock sitting in the street, mangled to all fucking hell, completely destroyed. Like, it could have been a different one, somebody else's, but like it was a bike lock in the road, pretty close to where it was supposed to be, and it was springy like the one that I had. But it did look really old, like it had been there for a while. So I thought, well, you know, maybe it's not mine. But then I came to my senses and I'm like, bro, it's a coily bike lock, a couple of, like, literally like a street down from where it should have been. So I just, and I looked all the way to the bus stop where I left from. I checked to see if mine was also there. Like that was like a one that was from somebody else, and there was another one that was my original one that I lost, but no. That mangled up piece of shit was the only thing I found. So I gotta think that that's it. That my bike lock was destroyed because it probably fell into the bus, and then the bus kicked it up into the wheel well of the bus, and then the bus mangled it the fuck up or something. I don't know. It was a bike lock that I paid probably less than $30 for, so I just kind of was like, fuck. It's gone. I got a replacement for $50, which felt like way too much money. But whatever. And then when I got home and I was working on the bike, fixing the stupid kickstand, and I couldn't really get it to stand on its own still, even when I tweaked it and kind of moved it around in the bracket that was securing it to the bike. My stupid sweatshirt that I had tied around my waist got stuck on the, or maybe that was when I was picking up the bike from the ground after I threw it, that my sweatshirt got stuck on the, like a handle or something, and it tore the pocket. It like ripped the stitching and pulled the seam apart on one of the pockets. So I had a fucking rough day. I got my voting done, and I made it downtown with my bicycle and back, but I felt like at what cost? And I kind of felt like I'm glad I didn't take the e-bike and took the regular one instead, because I feel like the e-bike would have been shook like crazy and vibrated like crazy, and potentially, and like the bike, my regular bike, was making all kinds of squeaky noises when I was riding it downtown. So I was like, well shit, maybe it's, been, something got vibrated wrong and it's like broke. But it was just, I think it just needed some lube. I think there were just some dry, squeaky parts that need some lube. But it's just like, man, I do not think I want to ever put the e-bike in that thing, because I think it will destroy it. Even though maybe maybe I'm just being stupid and I'm just losing my brain like an idiot. Just thinking things that don't make sense or are not true. Like when I thought, for sure my bike will get stolen when I go vote, because somebody will immediately see me walk away from it not being locked up, and they'll immediately come over and steal it immediately. And the spot that I locked it up, outside the place I voted, I think there was another human being, might have been 100 feet away, and I don't think anyone ever got within 50 feet of my bike. It was locked, so it was secure, but it was like, I don't think anybody would have even paid attention to it. I don't think anybody would have saw that it was unguarded and then tried to steal it. But I went out of my way, I deviated from voting to go get a new bike lock, which it wasn't like far away to get the bike lock, the store that I went to, but it wasn't close. Like, the time I intended to spend on this little journey downtown was only supposed to be voting and then the Riverwalk and then home. And maybe the mall to get food, maybe. Because there's a big mall downtown. But I was like, I had decided I wasn't going to go to the mall because I didn't want to spend any money. Which, yeah, then I'd spend $50 on a fucking bike lock. But yeah, I was not really intending to be downtown for a long time. And I ended up spending most of the day there because of the whole bike lock thing. I probably left a little early or a little late in the day. It was like 11 when I left. So I was gonna probably not get back till like 3 or 4 anyway. But because of the deviation to get a new bike lock, and then me throwing my bike on the grass like a fucking toddler, I ended up getting back closer to 5 or 6, and I was like, well, I'm in a bad mood, and it's late in the afternoon, so I'm just not going to stream. So that, long story short, that's why I didn't stream Riven VR last Sunday. Because I spent Saturday hanging out with my homies playing the new Mario Party. Because it had just come out on Thursday of last week. And we were all excited to play together on Saturday, which we did. And we played like all day. There was a lot to do. But again, I'm not going to give Nintendo any free advertisement because, again, they don't deserve it. But yeah, so I spent Saturday hanging out with my homies. I had chicken twice. My friend very graciously offered me some pizza oven or whatever that little toaster thing was that he had, air fried some chicken tendies from his freezer because I hadn't had lunch yet, and then we went to Raising Cane's for dinner, so I had chicken twice. I normally try to eat something different for every meal, so it's not the same thing multiple times. But yeah, so I was busy Saturday. I did not intend to be as busy on Sunday, but I ended up wasting a lot of time with anxiety and stupid and unfortunate things that probably were in my control, and I don't know. I feel like I stumbled and I fucked up. But at the end of the day, I did what I set out to do. I went downtown, I voted, and then I did the other thing that I wanted to do for me, which was riding down the Riverwalk and back. And I went downtown, even though I could absentee vote by mail, because I don't trust. So for some, again, you know, I'm paranoid. I'm stupid. I just didn't think that voting by mail. I was afraid. I was like, what if it doesn't make it? What if it doesn't get there? What if something happens? What if a posse of crazy people decide to steal my ballot and it doesn't get there? And I wanted to make sure in my stupid, paranoid brain that my vote was directly deposited at the place where it would be counted. So I went the extra mile and went downtown. If the election wasn't so damn important and such high stakes, I probably would have done the absentee if I could have. The thing is, I don't know if I was going to be able to. Because, I think you have to apply for it and get it sent to you if they approve. And there's, no guarantee that they were going to approve. So what I could have done is I could have gone to, some of the early voting areas around here where I live, instead of getting on the bus to go downtown, but the last time I early voted was the last election, the 2022 midterm. And I went to a church nearby, and I waited in line. And it was early voting, So it wasn't day of, but like there was a line, and I just again I just felt like, you know, what if I go, if I was like, if I have to wait in line, if I have to go to a place and vote, I want to do it where it's gonna get counted. I want to make sure it gets there. I want to be at, and it was also nice. It was nice out. It was gonna be I think it was ended up being 73 degrees. It was very nice. It was a great day for being outside. So I am still, despite the nasty poop shit that happened, I am still glad that I went outside. So that was another reason I went downtown, is because I wanted to ride my bike downtown. But yeah, it was my Sunday. It was a adventurous day. Got really tired because I went a lot farther than I was intending to. Because I did the whole getting a new bike lock, and then I went to the Riverwalk and went from one end to the other like I wanted to. And I kind of hurried on the Riverwalk, even though I really should not have, because I got to the bus stop with like 45 minutes to half an hour spare, and I was just like, I have to sit here now. And it just, anytime I sit at the bus stop and wait, it just feels agonizingly slow. But oh no, I made the best of the situation, and I probably could have freaked out and been very much more out of control and wild. And me throwing my bike into the grass probably wasn't great. But I didn't throw it at the bus. I didn't throw it at any other person, and I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have done either of those things, because, you know, that's like, I would be considered having attacked. I could have like been sent to prison or jail or whatever. So I controlled myself. It's just I feel bad that I still let my anger get the best of me, even as much as I tried to control it. Because I mean, that anger then is part of the reason. Because I was frustrated, and my sweatshirt got stuck, and I pulled on it really hard and tore it. And that wouldn't have happened if I had just calmed the fuck down. But I didn't. I did not calm down. Oh, good. This is what I was looking for, is one of the newer spells. So we'll actually, hopefully, get to play with it. I like the one that's got a fireball orbit, but this one is also pretty rad. I used it on the run I had today at work. I've used the orbiting fireball one a couple of times, but today was the first time I had seen the orbiting. It's here, let me not get killed by this fucking enemy. It is orbiting saw blade. So I had that earlier today, and it was it's pretty dope. So hopefully I'll get a chance to swap the dynamites. Because the dynamites are not gonna really work with this. I might end up killing myself with the acid spit shots though, because they're pretty slow. I need a fast projectile, because the saw blades orbit the projectile you shoot. So if you shoot something slow, the saw blades will just spin around the slow thing next to you and fucking kill you. So I need a different projectile spell if I'm gonna do this. The blue ball is okay. It might work, but I kind of don't want the blue ball spell with the saw blade thing. I might end up doing that still, but I haven't decided yet. It's kind of my only good projectile spell, so I kind of hate to waste it on that. It means I won't be able to... And also the mana drain. That spell uses so much mana that you kind of... Whoa. Huge nug. Damn. That you kind of have to put the orbiting saw blades on something with lots of mana. It uses 70, which would completely deplete that with one use. That's got 160. That's got 106. So if I put it on the one as 160, it's going to deplete a little under half of the mana that the wand has in one shot. So let's see what we got. Oh good, we have wands. Cool. That's a pretty good one. That's okay. And most of these kind of suck. This one's honestly probably the best. Probably take the blue balls off of this and swap this guy, because this is the worst one. Okay, so take these out. Throw this guy away. Swap in this one. Okay, so this is not what we want there. So yeah, if I put this and that together, this will go slow enough that those saw blades will kill me. So let's do this instead. Okay, so as a demonstration, it doesn't have enough mana to do the saw blades, so it only does the blue ball shot, because the stupid saw blade part uses so much mana. But it's cool though. Oh dear. Oh, I just did a bad. I just did a real bad. I was trying to get close enough to put the saw blade through his stupid fucking shield to kill him with it. Alright, well, sorry about that, chat. You guys didn't get to fucking see that spell, like, at all, because I stupidly fucking died. is I demonstrated the spell that pissed off the gods, and then the gods came and immediately fucked me in the face. So I apologize. I should have waited until I was out of that area to do that. I did not realize that it was destroying the environment enough to anger the gods. Normally, saw blades are weak and do not penetrate the ground like that. So, that was a bit of a surprise to see it do that. Like, I could see it kind of deteriorating the ground a little. But I didn't think that that would anger the gods like that. That was very surprising. So yeah, if I somehow manage to get that spell effect again, I will not try it in there anymore. I want the roving fireball one, because it's the same idea as the saw blades, but it's a fireball and they explode. Yet for some reason they do less damage. They do less damage than the saw blades when they explode. If you can believe that. That again, that's why I was like, huh? What? The saw blades destroyed the environment enough to anger the gods? What? Because the fireballs, again, they explode when they're done spinning around the projectile. When it like fully, because it's like it ties them to the projectile you're shooting. So as soon as your fired projectile disappears, the orbiting shit goes away. And in that particular case with the fireballs, they explode. The saw blades just spin around and eat through anything that they're cutting. But the fireballs explode when they get deleted. So, yeah, how they don't blow up the environment and anger the gods, but the saw blades somehow fucking penetrate the goddamn ground, like, that is kind of the opposite of what I would have expected. So we'll avoid that from now on. Sorry about that. Oh look, I have the same spell that I received at the beginning. How fun. Normally I would toss the starter wand, but I might actually need it. So I'm going to hold on to it. Hey, this is a blue ball spell. So that's a good one. That's a good spell. That's what I would have liked for the starting wand, to be honest, compared to the piece of shit purple one. I still maintain the devs of this game, the developers, need to patch the green bouncing spell and that purple spell. Look at how it has 3 damage. You see in there, Spark Bolt, type, Mana Drain, damage 3. Damage is 3, right? This blue ball, damage 5. This does 2 damage. 2 damage more than the 3 on this. Make this one have 5 damage. Same thing for the green bouncy one. Make them have the same damage value as this guy. Now, granted, the red one that I'm okay with, that dies really quickly, it's very short range, that one I think does like 8 or 10 damage. Something way higher. But the projectile is short and doesn't go as far. So it balances out. But it's like the purple spell and the fucking green bouncy ones suck. They're so bad. And the wand I get them on usually is so fucking slow that it takes many, many shots to kill what I'm shooting. And that leads to my death so many times. So I don't know. I feel like those spells should get buffed. Because they're no good. And I a lot of times will just keep cycling new game until I get the better ones. It's like I don't want to waste my time with a run that's going to end with me immediately dying. And you might notice a pattern here. That I kind of pessimistically see a outcome that sucks and assume that that's going to be the outcome I get, even when there's a possibility that that might not be the case. Even if the bad possibility is a slim chance. So I have like a 70% chance of good and a 30% chance of bad. I still assume 100% bad, and I make my decisions accordingly. It's actually, I'm in a bit of a probably a lot of other people are like in this too, where it's a bit of a depression spiral thinking about how the results of the upcoming election here in a couple of days is going to either drastically fuck over or like it's either going to be like not much of an improvement, if any, or like maybe stay the same, or a lot worse. Like a lot worse. Like shit's gonna be falling out of the sky. So that is weighing on my mind. And when I was down there riding my bike and having all that shit happen on Sunday, that was, again, in my brain. A lot. This imposing dread that I guess I feel every election. I have felt that since 2016 and continue to feel it because it continues to be bad. And I can't believe I am pining for a time where I kind of didn't care about the election and it was just kind of a crappy choice either way, but it was just like stuffy old man versus stuffy old man. And they were just like kind of like normal, but you know, they're just like people you could meet in like a formal setting and they would be fine. Like you could shake their hands and nothing crazy would happen. They're just like some old dudes at like like an office building. And that was the two choices. Just stuffy old guy A, stuffy old guy B. Which is, I guess, still kind of sort of the case, but like one of the stuffy old guys in this particular election is more insane than the other person. And it's just like, bruh, I would love more than fucking anything to go back to the way things were. I would love to just go back to that previous normal. Because the new normal that we have now sucks. And I know that that's a lot of... I bet a lot of people feel that way. But here's the point I make. I'm taking forever to get to the point on this. But so I also follow automotive stuff, as I may have talked about previously on other streams. And again, it's a very pathetic, depressing, shitty. I call it the second malaise era, because I don't know what the previous malaise era necessarily was, but I consider us to be in a malaise era, because automakers are trying to get out EVs, but they don't seem to have any clue how to do that. And as a result, we get like shitty EVs that suck. So imagine this odd feeling of elation when they announced the Scout, Terra, and I think Explorer or something, Trek. I don't remember what the other thing's called, but there's an SUV and truck coming out from the old dead brand Scout, which is part of Volkswagen. It's not out. They're not releasing either or until 2027, because they're 2028 model year vehicles, and the way that works is they announce, like, it's gonna be the 2028 model year will release in 2027. So these will not come out for a while. But they're going to be pretty decent EV trucks with a range extender, so they'll go further. When they run out of EV power, they will use some kind of gasoline generator that makes them go a little further. And they will... The starting price, which is kind of a useless number because that pretty much always is guaranteed to change to a higher number, mostly. But they start at $50K. Which, again, they're factoring in the tax break, which maybe we won't have. And that's 2027, which is a full 4 years out, right? So by the time those things are out, they could cost like $100,000 or something. But just seeing another good looking, practical, it has buttons and knobs for the air conditioning. Just seeing a good EV truck option. I don't know how I was high enough to get hit by that, but whatever. But yeah, just seeing another, it's like, so out of, before that announcement, before seeing that, you had the Rivian trucks, Ford's Lightning truck, and the Cybertruck. And I don't really know of any others. I think I'm thinking about the Santa Cruz EV, but I don't I don't think that is an EV. I think it's a hybrid, or it's gasoline and not even hybrid. But there's not many EV trucks. So to see a legitimately good one that's like, you know, it had a lot of things people want, and there were a lot of comments that were saying, oh yeah, that's really good, I put down a deposit for it. To see that enthusiasm just alone was like a positive feeling. But then, like, so a friend of mine that I've known for a while, he's worked for a bunch of companies, including the ones that I worked for, and we went to high school and kind of grew up together. He went off to go work for Scout, and I was kind of like, didn't think really highly of Volkswagen, especially after seeing the ID Buzz and it being like 70,000 for like 250 miles of range, which is like almost worthless. It's like, oh man, Volkswagen is fucked. And really, I still kind of think that, because Scout is actually not I mean, it's part of Volkswagen, yes, but Volkswagen proper, I think, is still kind of boned. But yeah, so the friend of mine went off to go work at Scout, and I'm feeling really good for him, because it's like, yeah, man, they're gonna fucking hit it out of the park with that shit. Like, again, a lot can change in 3 years. Especially, again, depending on how the election goes. But I felt happy. I felt joyous about a good thing that was announced. I felt like, you know, finally we're starting to get good EVs that are good. Because a lot of the ones out right now, especially the fucking abomination that is Ford's Mach-E thing, it's like, ugh, we're in a malaise era, things are pessimistic and shitty. But seeing that Scout and how good it was kind of gave me a little bit of hope that maybe we're not fucked. Maybe we're not doomed to drive around in fucking washing machines. Shitty, useless appliance mobiles that are no good. And are just, whatever, fuck it, it has wheels, I don't care. Because, I mean, as somebody that likes cars, I want the cars to be fun. I want them to be enjoyable. And I know that's kind of the antithesis of what Musk wants with the cyber taxi bullshit. Or whatever he calls that crap. I don't care and I don't know. He wants an autonomous taxi, robo-taxi, autonomous taxis where you don't drive, you don't own a car, you just get in and pay your fare and you ride the thing to where you want to go. And that sounds like the end of all freedom. At that point, you might as well be in a labor camp. You might as well be chained. You might as well not have any freedom. Because if you can't even choose where you're going to go at the amount of speed you're going, are you really in control of your life? I mean, yes, people who ride the bus, people who get on the subway, deal with that every day. But, like, I don't know. It's just the thought of being in a stupid ass Elon Musk controlled taxi service just sounds like we've fucking lost. It just sounds like we've failed as a society if we get to that point. If that's what our world devolves into, then we have failed. We are in hell. We are in a waking nightmare. Because then we have no choice. We have no agency. We can't do anything. Everything is dictated, and we do as we're told. And it sounds hellish. So the Scout announcement to me was like getting some of that like enthusiasm for life back. And I think that was yesterday that they made that announcement. But I could be wrong. Maybe it was it Tuesday? Wednesday? I'm at this point, I don't remember. My short-term and even long-term memory is starting to kind of go, which is probably bad because Alzheimer's kind of runs in the family, which I feel like everybody gets it nowadays, which is terrible and terrifying to think that soon I will not remember anything. But oh yeah, I keep forgetting and then remembering that I have to look up Aberdeen, because there's a restaurant being built, or like there was a building that was like abandoned and didn't have business there, like very close to my house. That's called. There's this. They've been working on building it up and kind of doing construction-y shit on it for a while, and I've been curious to know what it was gonna end up being. And so a week or two ago, I saw a sign that said, or maybe it was even last week that I saw it, that said Aberdeen. And I don't know what Aberdeen is. It seems like it's some kind of restaurant. Because, I mean, that's kind of what the building looks like it's supposed to be. But, yeah, Aberdeen. I don't know what that is. I'll have to look that up if I remember post stream somehow, which should be soon, because I want to get a good spell. I want to get a good run. I've got a fuckload of gold. I should probably mosey. Yeah, I'll try to look that shit up and see. But back to cars again for a minute. My passion on that has been, I was really, really excited about Alpha, a company called Alpha Motors out in California. They had some really fucking nice looking concepts. And one of them, they have a working... They legitimately have a truck. Like, they're making a small two-door truck called the Wolf that they have working concept. Like, they've driven it around and let people see it and stuff. But that's it. They've not produced a single vehicle yet. And I'm not convinced that they will. I'm thinking about how Fisker produced something like, what was it, 500 of their little their ocean SUVs, little crossover thingies, and that was it, and they went bankrupt. And I'm just thinking, will Alpha make any of the vehicles that they're promising? Or will they be like Faraday Future, who also still has yet to make a vehicle, and we've known about them for probably 5-6 years at this point, maybe 10. Like they're old. They're old news. I found out about Alpha Motors like maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago. But I've been hearing about stupid ass Faraday Future for like ever, and they have yet to produce anything. So I'm a little concerned that Alpha might end up being the same, where they just don't make anything. So my enthusiasm for Alpha is kind of like not there anymore. Like, I put down a reservation for one of their coupes that they have planned, but there's no deposit, nothing, no money, which I'm not giving them any money, because people have put down money for like, what was the company that had reservations and they were giving the money back? What the hell company was that? I want to say that was I was reading about Mercedes Streeter put an article out about e-bikes companies startups going out, and maybe it was like the one that Eric Buell did, and that one was like it went out and they had to give people their money back, maybe, for reservation. I can't remember. But it's like Alpha's not getting any money from me until they start producing cars. And even then, I gotta see it. I gotta see one of these fucking things before I put any money down. I want to know exactly what I'm getting myself involved in before I do anything. So yeah, I was enthusiastic about the Alpha vehicles, but that enthusiasm has kind of waned, considering they have literally, from my perspective, they've made no progress. They've done nothing. They keep putting out their little email blasts every week or whatever, and they just never actually do anything. Which is also true for like Faraday Future. They also are just not doing shit. So I'm kind of starting to think of Alpha as vaporware, which is a term for something that's talked about and promised and then never shows up for folks that are maybe not native English speakers. But yeah, it's kind of a recurring theme here in the US, is that we have a lot of people that like to talk the shit or promise things and then not deliver. Cough, cough, Elon Musk. Cough, cough. Even though, in his case, you could say that Elon Musk is delivering, in that they did put out the Cybertruck. He did actually make the sales numbers for their last quarter good somehow. But, as always, there's a catch. The reason their numbers were good, they drastically lowered prices on their products, and they fired a crap load of people. So that's how they got a lot of money from doing that. But cannot be denied, the numbers do not lie, that the Cybertruck is officially the best-selling EV truck out there. Which is extremely fucking sad to me. It is, I feel like Jim Farley and his entire company should be extremely embarrassed that their normal truck that isn't stupid as fuck looking and is like, you know, actually good is getting its ass beat by a fucking shitty ass triangle truck that is not even good. Like, there are numerous videos showing the Cybertruck getting stuck. There's a video of it in a tug of war with a Ford Lightning truck, electric truck, and the Ford Lightning, like, destroys it. People have cut themselves on the edges of the Cybertruck. It is developing patina, or pitting, where the finish is getting rusted because it's, you know, big ass metal panels that have no protective coating, so they fucking they're rusting, they're flooding and being destroyed by water. They're having weird other maintenance issues that are like causing them to be in the shop for long periods of time. They're offensive as shit, and people are like spitting at them and giving them the middle finger, which I think they kind of deserve. Maybe not like spitting at, and you know, like if you attack somebody in a Cybertruck or do anything physically to them, don't be a dick. That's just not cool. Like, Elon's an asshole. The people that support Elon are probably also by extension assholes. But don't be a, you know, don't attack. Don't be the instigator. Okay? You can flip them off. You can look at them with an ugly look on your face. You can hate them all you want. Just, you know, don't be a villain. But yeah, it's sad. It is extremely fucking sad that all these other companies are getting their shit beat by Elon lies through his fucking teeth Musk. I mean, again, people will defend. He'll be like, what did he lie about? Everything. Like, he tells half-truths and says shit before he has a plan to do the said shit, and then scrambles to make the said shit happen, and then it ends up being lackluster and dumb. Like this stupid ass tunnels in Las Vegas, son. It's just a single car tunnel that you can barely drive a fucking Tesla through. It's retarded. The Cybertruck, for as popular as it is a piece of shit. Is it a truck that is able to do truck things? Sure. But it does not do truck things well. Because the bed is small and shitty and hard to get into. And it just... I mean, a part of the reason it sucks is that it is what it is. And you're just going to have tons of people gawping at it or flipping you off in it. Or it's a menace. It sucks. The reality is it's a truck that drives down the road, and it is a truck, and it is selling enough to make them a profit. Those are the facts. And those facts can't be misconstrued. When Elmo is doing a thing that makes him smug, he proudly displays the truth like he's a god and everyone should suck his penis for all of eternity because he was right. But when Elon Musk is wrong, he fucking hides from the truth like a little bitch and tries to lie about it to cover it up like a little bitch. And I'm not gonna mince words. I'm not gonna say that nicely. The man bought Twitter and is running it the fuck into the ground. I'm not happy about that. The man is also trying to get a certain presidential candidate, who I won't name, elected, and is determined to destroy our government from the inside out and basically turn all of us normal, regular schmo people into his worker slaves. How he'll accomplish that particularly, I can't say for sure. But, like, the end goal is to own us. The end goal is to put leashes around all our necks and own us and run, and be... It will be his fucking property. And, you're being crazy. You're saying shit. And it's like, I know this man. I know his archetype. I know his personality. I know he is drunk on power. He is seeking control over all of our lives. He just so happens to not be stupider than a box of fucking chewed up crayons like the person he's supporting financially, and is not willing to come out and say, yeah, I want to, enslave the American people. The other guy, he'll happily tell you, yeah, we're going to enslave the people who are our enemies. Yeah, they'll be enslaved. He'll happily tell you that. Or he's just barely smart enough to not. Just barely smart enough to deny evil when he is rubbing his hands together like a fucking dastardly villain at the thought of fulfilling those evil plans that are publicly available for all to fucking see, that he just so happens to be intelligent enough to vehemently deny. But will, in almost every other respect, tell you that yes, that shit is definitely happening, and we're all fucking going to pay for not filleting him 24/7. Which I hate to have made this political. I try to avoid that, and I try to avoid doom and gloom, but it is impending. It is an impending doom that I think about more than I should, and I try to block it out. I try to not think about it, but it's just like it's coming. And I'm praying that we end up going towards happier, greener pastures instead. I'm hoping that my pessimism is not realized. But I can't help but think about when my company had a town hall, or all hands, emergency all hands, Everybody needed to be there meeting. And I kept thinking, they're going to close the building. They're going to fire us all. That was like the worst case scenario. Everyone's fired, building closing, company going bankrupt, something to that effect. We had the all hands meeting. And they are, in fact, closing down the building I work in. And I was in shock that I called it. For like 24 hours, I was in disbelief. I'm not losing my job. I'm not being fired. They're moving us to a different location that we have another building at. But it's just like, man, if I was right about that shit, I really don't want to be, I really don't want to be right about something else. I don't want to be a predictor of doom. I would much rather good things happen. And last time during the last election, I was predicting doom, and we did not have doom. So I need to just put it out of my brain and wait for the consequences to make themselves known. Because I mean, I was forced to do that with my job, right? So, you know, they announced to close the building, moving to different location, but they also, I was like, okay, well, you know, I still have a job, I guess. We'll see. And I do still have a job. It's just, I'm gonna have to start driving further out of my way to get to work when I go in. Not like every day, but on the days I go in, I'm gonna have to drive further. And it sucks, but I'm just gonna have to deal with it. And I'm making contingencies. I don't know if they will keep me. So I have to look for other jobs as a backup plan. And I've done that. I have applied to some jobs. I haven't gotten any interviews yet, which is kind of making me a little nervous, but I just have to take it one step at a time and do what I can. And that's going to be the case no matter what happens for anything that comes my way. I have to just deal with what I've got. And if it sucks, it sucks. But it's also kind of making me appreciate the smaller, happier things. Like the Scout announcement, and I don't know, just I guess I'm going down to Florida again for vacation in January. So I'm looking forward to that getting closer. Because the hurricane did not hit where I'm going to vacation. I mean, it kind of got close, and, you know, flooding occurred. But for the folks that did get hit by Milton, but thankfully we did not take as much of a hit this time. So I'm looking forward to being back down. Because the last time I went earlier this year. I went in January of this year. But you know, with a lot of places closed up and not back to normal yet, it wasn't quite the same. And the weather was kind of shitty in January of this year too, so I didn't really get to enjoy myself as much. But I'm hoping the weather will be nice this time. So, fingers are crossed. So I've got, you know, there's little things to look forward to. It's just kind of in a rough patch. And I mean, I feel so bad for all the artists who are dealing with the AI shit that's like taking away their opportunities to earn money, and some of them like are losing jobs and just kind of like, you know, they're worried about their futures, and I feel really bad for those folks. So if you're like me and you get commissions from artists online, try to do that as much as you can, or at least repost their work so that they get more eyeballs. Because, like, those guys are really struggling. That's one of the other things I kind of pay attention to a lot, because, you know, I like cars, I like art. So I keep track of this stuff. Just because I don't really have anything else to do. And it's just, it's depressing to see that corporations are using AI to just not pay people and just rip artists off and take their work without permission. So it really sucks to see that. And it's the worst part of it is that it's like it's killing the entire industry. Like, anyone and everyone that does a creative job is at risk of losing their work and being made obsolete by this AI bullshit. With the only consolation being that the AI cannot fully replicate human art completely, needs a human touch on a lot of it, and the models they use are dependent on human art. So I mean, if humans stop making art, they won't have any more training data, and it'll just start recursing on itself and reusing its own assets, and end up being garbage. Which the people behind those AI algorithms know this, and are fighting to try and make it so that they can continue to steal work from artists, even though artists are trying to get copyright laws to be on their side. But I mean, every day that a company goes with AI art instead of paying somebody is another artist that gets discouraged and potentially gives up on art. I mean, we'll still, you know, obviously artists will still be passionate and make art. It's just they won't be looking for it as a job. They may not share it online. I mean, you know, if we're gonna basically have our shit stolen from us and used against us, we obviously don't want to make it easy for that to happen. So we'll do things like, again, not doing that as a job, not posting it online, things like that. And it sucks to see that happening. So it's just yet another thing. Like, I have all these things just sitting in my mind, weighing me down, and it can be hard to overcome all that. Like, I know a lot of folks out there are struggling mightily with an endless number of potentially negative thoughts. That's called depression. And, you know, I fully... I'm not gonna in any way at all try to say those people are somehow weak or that they should just get over themselves, because I know it's rough. Having that shit sitting in your brain is like the Scarecrow guy in Batman using his like neurotoxin on you. You don't even feel like there's a way out. You get this feeling that you're just trapped. and you can't escape. And it's terrible. And I'm gonna say that there, as far as I'm aware, there is no definitive easy way to defeat something like depression. You just have to find a way through it. Like some horrid maze. People like myself are lucky. I have something that keeps me going. I have things that thwart the depression. And I'm not gonna at all try to downplay the fact that my folks have been a huge part of that. Like, I'm not gonna say I'm like really super affluent, because I mean I'm making barely any money and living in a fucking condo, but I have a place that I call my own. It's paid for. I mean, it's not paid for, but it's I have a mortgage. I have a paid for car that's not car payments. I'm doing okay. I'm living life. And I know that a lot of people out there are not. I know that a lot of people are struggling and are not sure how they're going to get through their next day that they wake up. And the number of those people grows every day. And it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse because of people like Musk and the other guy. And it makes you angry. So it's like we should be trying to work together. We have a crisis occurring that we all need to work together to resolve. And we need to work together. We need to... The last thing we need is to antagonize and try to control one another. We got bigger problems than that. Those stupid fuckers are wasting their time. They're wasting our time. And it's annoying. It makes me angry. Because I gotta then waste more of my time to fix their shitty mistakes, where they're intentionally ruining other people's lives, or mine, and fix it. When I could have spent that time enjoying myself, or, pursuing something more worthwhile than fixing fuck-ups. So, I don't know. I hate to get all shitty and down, but it's just, I feel like it helps for me to explain why I am thinking the way I think. I don't know if it's because I want to warn you to not think the same way and try to think a different way, or if I'm trying to give you a tip for what to do instead of doing worse things than what I'm doing. Not really sure. I'd have to know who I'm talking to, I guess. It's like today I had some issues that I couldn't resolve because I didn't have all the information I needed. I had a lady trying to use a piece of software that we were dang sure she was supposed to be able to use it, but she just didn't have the functionality she was looking for. And I am convinced that It is a licensing issue, and I sent that to the folks responsible for getting the licenses and said, you guys need to check this. Because everything looks good on my end. And then I had another gentleman come with his machine that he... I want to say he sheepishly admitted to not allowing the machine to ventilate and not get super crazy hot. But it's like, it's a bad design. It's not entirely his fault. It is his fault that I keep telling everybody, get your machines ventilated. Give them air. Let them breathe. They are overheating. And you guys, I keep telling them, you guys have to fucking keep this shit cool, or there's gonna be damage. And his machine was a little swollen on the case, just the case. Because I opened it up. His initial complaint was there was a rattling sound, which we found the rattling. It was a standoff. A screw standoff had separated from the main board, where it was like glued with thermal paste or something, and it had come apart and was rattling around inside the machine. Specifically in the little hole that they made for it in the main bowl that they had this thing sitting in, and it was like rattling in there because it wasn't glued on. And the case, with swelling, you're like, okay, well, is the battery pushing it out? And it's like, no, the battery's fine. The battery is actually okay. But the machine was getting so hot that the case itself was warping outward. And again, this standoff, whatever it was, came undone and was rattling around. So that had to go to... I had to call in because the machine was under warranty, so it's going to get fixed for free, but they insist on getting the machine sent back to them being Dell. And it's like, I was like, can you guys do on-site recovery? And he's like, no. And that's going to be a problem, because we cannot allow a machine with proprietary company data on it to go anywhere outside of our control. Like, I do not think that my boss is going to be okay with sending the PC to Dell for getting worked on. He's going to probably tell me that we got to clear that machine before we send it. Or take the M2 out and give them a machine with no drive in it. I'm not sure how they're going to respond to that, because, are they going to be mad that they can't boot to Windows? And they can't therefore test it to make sure it's working? I don't know. I feel like my boss is not going to be happy that I essentially allowed them to say that they aren't going to give us on-site. Like, maybe I said something wrong that gave them the impression that we broke the machine. Because he said it was covered by accidental damage. Like, he thinks it's our fault that the thing overheated. And it's like, no, son, your shitty design caused this overheat. You guys' crappy design on this thing is what caused the problem. I mean, yes, Dum Dum didn't, keep the machine cool like I told him to, but it shouldn't be overheating like that. It should not be getting that hot that it overheats to the point of it warping the case and destroying internal components. Because it's not like he was turning it on, throwing it in a backpack, and leaving it in an enclosed space. It's sitting on his desk. Plugged in, normal use, just like mine. But it's a bigger machine with beefier internal components, and it gets hotter than my machine does. And I feel like I have told them this over and over and over. You've got to keep the machine cool. Give it air. Let it breathe. Vents on bottom. Don't let it sit flat on the table. And I feel like they're not listening. But it's not necessarily fair of us to expect them to go buy a stand to sit it on that props it up. Dell should be engineering the goddamn computer case to have little feet that prop it up off the table enough for it to breathe. And the fact they did not engineer it that way, that shit's on them. They screwed up. Their design sucks. The internal components shouldn't be getting the machine that hot to start with. They put too beefy of components inside of a laptop case. They should not have done that. Because the machine's not built to handle it. It's built to run those components, but it's not built to withstand the heat tolerance. Even though I'm sure they'll say otherwise, which is bullshit. Because it's like, bro, I have like a million machines that are all failing in pretty much the same way. Their CPU fans and their keyboards are dying on like multiple machines with not, again, being abused, just normal use. Is it enough for a class action lawsuit? Probably not. Dell will probably be like, well, our customers should be taking care to keep their machines cool. We don't advise them to let their machines get so hot. But unlike the hot coffee incident, where the woman's body was so badly disfigured that she was essentially sterilized, there's not horrific injuries involved. So we probably wouldn't win any case we would bring against Dell. But I mean, this design of these engineering machines that are, well, the precision machines that they have are just terrible. They're just awful. Shit design. Because the vents, there are vents on the back that face outward when the machine is sitting on a table or desk or whatever. But there's also vents on the bottom that face down, which, even based on just how heat transfers from hot to cold, it's common knowledge that heat rises upward. Yeah? I mean, like, that's a no-brainer thing. So why in God's name would you, I mean, I guess there's probably, what they probably are supposed to do is they're probably supposed to suck air in. It's probably supposed to be pulling cooler air in from the bottom and forcing it out the back, which is what my case is kind of doing. I have a big giant computer case sitting in front of me here that has a heat vent on the back and fans blowing air up out of the top. But I have gigantic, huge fans pulling air in the front of the case, as well as the bottom. So, the fact they're not blocked and that there's a lot of room inside means that my computer is fine. I'm also not overdoing it with insane I'm not putting in huger, more crazy pieces than the case is designed for. So that's another bit, kind of a dig against Dell. But it's like their shitty designs are doing our machines no favors. So, but yeah, that was my day, chat. How was your day? What did you guys do today? I played Homebody and worked. And I talked about a bunch of shit. And now here we are. And I'm trying not to fucking get killed by this fire asshole. And I have buttloads of gold. And I'm trying to get the rotating fireball. But this guy here is pretty good, actually. Holy shit. That yeeted so fucking far. That's actually great. Do I get this one as well? I guess why not? Trying to determine which of these wands is better. Because it really is just, it comes down to DPS and rate of fire on these. Whoops. They're about the same, honestly. This one doesn't take as long to recharge, though, so I probably should use this. Okay. Again, I'm trying to find those newer spells, but I keep not finding them. So that'll keep me alive longer. Keep this run going a little bit. Holy shit. I don't know why it yeets it so hard. But it's crazy. Such a strong throw. And I'm like hurting myself every time I shoot it. I wish I didn't hurt myself every time I shot it. I probably should have put the shotgun pellets instead of the thing it had. I figured, well, it shoots it really hard, and that's good. But it's actually doing more damage to me that way. So I actually fucked up and probably should have put the stupid shotgun bullets there instead. I don't know if I'm gonna make it to get that health for the exploration. I'm gonna try. I'm really gonna try, but all kinds of shit's trying to fuck me up. And I'm fucking me up by shooting that damn thing. I'm not even gonna use that. That'll end up killing me, I'm sure of it. In fact, I'm just gonna leave. Now that because I'm trying to leave, I'm gonna die. But I will try my damnedest to get out of here. I will not use anything but this wand. Every time, chat. Every fucking time. I try to leave, I have no health, I die. Every time. But I will not give up. I will not quit. If there's anything positive that can be said about me in this world, is that my determination is unmatched. Like the episode of Dexter's Laboratory where Monkey fights Rasslor, which those of you who are like, wow, you're a fucking huge nerd. And it's like, yes, I am. But, bruh, Rasslor, aka Randy Savage, voice acting, beat the shit out of Monkey. And mangled his fucking body. Yet Monkey refused to quit. And Randy Savage, aka Rasslor, was like, I could crush your bones, but I can never crush your spirit. And it's like, that motherfucking Monkey is going to continue to get up and fight until he is no more. And that is me. I am determined. I am bound. I am eternal. I will get the wand that does the spinning fireball effect or the goddamn spinning saw blade effect, and I will not immediately die. Bound and determined. It's Friday night. I ain't going anywhere. I ain't got any plans. I literally have nothing going on tomorrow at all. Nothing planned. So we will do this. We will succeed. I guess you could say, in a lot of ways, I was a really impressionable person when I was younger. And I look back on it feeling like, man, I was fucking stupid as hell, idiot child. I had no brains whatsoever. And I don't claim to be smart now. But I think about the things that other people are stupidly just taking for... Like, yeah, this is true. I just believe it because it is said. And it's like, really? You're not... The thing to learn that you should all do, all of you, anyone watching this, please do this. Please do this more as often as you can. Question the things you are being told. If somebody says, hey, this thing happened, and you're just in, just passing conversation, just shooting the shit, try to verify it. Try to find out if that's what they said is actually true. Try to go look up a source that isn't just Google or Twitter and verify it. Cross-reference it with multiple sources that are, again, not Google or Twitter. I know that becomes increasingly impossible as everything consolidates to Google or Twitter or whatever. And it's just impossible to know the truth when so many people are lying. But like, part of why there is lying is that people are just taking an easy debunkable lie and deciding that that's fact. The bar for acceptance is low. Put that bar higher. Demand more. Make the people who are lying work harder. Because, like security, a lot of the times laziness will translate to the thing not getting done. And you will then succeed. If you do not wish to be overcome by, those fake news, fake stories, if you don't want to be fooled, verify. Double check. Because that's one thing that makes me mad in life is being fooled. I was a stupid child. I probably have told the story of the kid asking to borrow my bike and never giving it back before. I think I remember telling that story at least a couple dozen times, but yeah, I was dumb. I did not know better, which was a poor excuse. But we have the ability to know better. As adults, we can verify. We can check on things. We have the power to do so. So do it, please. Don't let people fool you. Don't let the fake shit impression you. Because there is a lot of that shit out there. And again, I know it takes a lot of time and effort to verify stuff, and sometimes it's more of a pain to do that than it is to just go along with it or even potentially ignore it. But I feel it's just something I feel like it doesn't get said enough, and it feels like people are not enough trying to root out things that are wrong. The way that current events are happening, it's just like impressionable folks who are easily talked into stuff are going to get taken advantage of really hard. And they're going to be convinced to do stuff that they probably wouldn't normally do. So I urge you, all you folk, please try your best to root out the liars. It's like me, I would hate for you to be angry that you had been fooled, that you'd been taken advantage of. That feeling sucks almost more than anything. Because it's like you just feel like a complete fucking idiot. I know that feeling. I don't want anyone else feeling it. I know this stream has been going on for a while and it's getting late, but I gotta get this good run. I gotta do it. It's gotta happen. I will make it happen. The RNGesus is not on my side right now because I feel like the longer you play this game, the worse your luck tends to get. They give you all the good luck at the beginning. But we're not giving up. I just wish they'd let me have that fucking rotating fireball spell thing. Because it's like, that's what I want. That's what I want to be on the stream, is me getting that. It'd also be cool if I could show you guys the thing I just discovered today. That I didn't know was there. There's a lot of things that I find in this game that I didn't know was hiding just out of sight. A lot of weird little tiny surprises that I almost wonder if I'm the first person to find them. And I'm sure I'm not. I'm sure there are folks that are just cheating and using mods to just dig through the whole map and see everything. But it's like, am I the first person to organically stumble on this shit? Probably not. But I want it to be on the stream because it's like, it's new content. It's exciting. Whereas right now you guys are just seeing me die over and over. Getting the same boring, shitty spells that are no good. And getting really good spells and then immediately dying without getting a chance to use them. Part of that's because I'm getting tired and my focus is starting to wane. I'm also getting very distracted with my stupid idiot rants. But I feel like since it's a stream, I have to talk because that's part of why it's a stream. I mean, I guess there are videos where people just play the game and say nothing the entire time, but if I was watching that, I would be just like, bruh, if I wanted this, I'd just play the game myself. So I'm trying to both focus on playing and entertaining. And that is proving to be somewhat difficult. I feel like this game has way too many enemies in it. Which is crazy because I normally struggle to get above 350 gold on this first level usually. But it seems like all of this stream I've gotten like well over 700 gold like every time. And I'm not like going out of my way to hunt these guys down. They're just like there. Whereas I'm normally hunting them down. I normally would go out of my way to hunt enemies down specifically to get gold because I don't get enough. But this time, tonight, I'm just trying to fucking get through this shit. And they're just showing the fuck up. And like, a lot of the times I'm just fucking, again, trying to live. They just show up. They just pincer maneuver. They're just like, enemy comes this way, enemy comes that way, enemy comes this way, and I'm just surrounded all of a sudden by like 8,000 things all trying to fucking kill me at once. And they have such good accuracy and such good range on all of their shit, and they have such a strong fucking advantage. My one and only thing is that they die in like one hit, but there's so many of them. So my piddly 100 health is just never enough. It's never enough, chat. I could get my health up to 200-300 and it would mean nothing. I went into a level with like over 200 health and I lost literally almost all of it within a second of entering the level. Like the chute you come down between levels, I popped out of that, found myself surrounded by enemies, and went from like 300 health down to 50 in like 2 seconds. AKA this game is like balancing issues of the game. But I love it. It's one of my favorite games. And I think it's just the love of seeing a new effect, a new thing, finding a new combo that's powerful. I guess that's kind of the same thing that Kirby 64 had on me, where I was like, oh man, if I mix this thing with that thing, what do I get? Whatever that phenomenon is. Gambler's fallacy, maybe? I don't know. But that's what drives me in this game. Despite the level being the same every time, the enemies largely being the same enemies, that you think I would get better at dodging, better at dispatching. The joy of experimentation keeps me going. And you'd probably be like, it really looks like you have the joy of being on fire. And I would say, unfortunately, yes. I seem to be on fire a lot, yes. The problem is I keep throwing if I don't have a water flask to start with, I keep throwing it away in anger. Which I should be keeping, dumping the contents out and filling it with water instead. But it's just like I get impatient. I'm just like, I don't have time for that shit. I'm not gonna fucking do the game's job of giving me a water flask. I keep telling myself I'll find a water flask or a different flask in the level. But of course it will be harder and less safe for me to dump the contents out if it's not gonna put me out when I'm on fire. So I'm an idiot. I'm intentionally being stupid and making things harder on myself. Which I feel like, again, is something a lot of people do. I want that wand. It's a good wand. It's way better than the shit I have. I'm gonna do it. Even though it's a weak, shitty spell, it's no good. Thing is, I have a little bit, like, I'm not dying. If I was dying, I probably wouldn't do it, because it's like I'm dying. But I got some health to play with. I'm not in danger yet. I know that changes like in an instant in this game, but I need some more money. See, I'm only at 213 right now, chat. I need 400 at least. There's a bunch right there. I can get to it. I did not. I got like one piece. And now I'm very much on fire. Trying to focus, chat. Trying to get a good amount of gold because I need it. And next, the Holy Mountain's gonna have either wands or spell pieces for wands. If it has spell pieces for wands, it has the potential to have shit garbage, and me need to keep on trucking to the next area with what I got, which would not be good because I have 6 bombs total, and the bombs help, but they're not gonna be great. So I'm trying my best to get a decent amount of gold so I can buy something if anything good shows up. Doing my best to minimize situations where I'm going to hurt myself or put myself in the line of fire unnecessarily. And make sure that when I see enemies, I kill them dead immediately. I'm getting very far away from bombs. So the run I had today where I had that spinny saw blade rotating orbit thing, I shot the ground with what I thought was going to be a spell that has a digging effect, and instead it was a spell that exploded, so it killed me. And I was like, damn it. That one stupid, simple mistake screwed me up. I was doing really good before that. So this green ball spell sucks. It has no damage, so I'm getting rid of it. It bounces a lot, and therefore will hit enemies a lot. But I am getting rid of it. So I'm going to fill my jug with water. So we got a full water jug because we need it. Because I'm on fire almost every other second. Get the more health, even though it won't end up saving me. See how quickly we lose it. I'm getting a lot better at angling the dynamite where I need it to go. Having used it enough to learn how to arc it properly. Sure wish I had the spell that lets you see shit, because kinda wish I knew where the fuck I was going. I mean, I'm going left, but I don't know where I should be going. See, chat, all that health, it's going away because I'm stupid. I get myself cornered. Concentrated explosion. I don't feel like I've seen that one before. I think that's a new one. If I could actually get enough gold to pick it the fuck up, I would. So I would like to see a new spell. Ooh, this is a good one. Oh man, that's a really good one. I mean, it's not amazing, but it's pretty good. That concentration of balls is fucking great. Cause like one ball on its own is pretty good. And this will dig. This will be useful for digging. But having a bunch of balls at once is both great for damage and good for digging. Man, that's some good luck. Seems like it's been fucking hours since I got some good shit. Fortunately, they're not super great in here. Those fireballs are very slow in here. teleportation guy is really dangerous. Whenever he teleports me, I seem like I always go into a huge crowd of enemies. Like it just seems to be like, where are a bunch of enemies? Send the player there. So, I hate that guy. I hate what he does to me. There's a lot of enemies that seem to do some really, really nasty, mean-spirited shit to you. And he's one of the worst. Because, like, the fire mage guy shoots his little blast in an arc and it explodes when it makes contact with something. So you can get damaged by getting hit directly or by getting hit by the explosion when the firebolt that he shoots out lands on something. So either he doesn't even have to hit you with it. If he hits below you and you're standing above it, you'll still get damaged by the splash damage. But once you learn how his shots arc, you can kind of jump over them if you're good. And the same thing for the guy with the shotgun. His little pellets will normally go in an arc. The same way that yours do when you shoot them. So once you know them, you can kind of sort of deal with it better. Bitch. Okay, let's see what we got in here. Damn it, still not the fucking orbiting thingamajig. Alright, well, we'll just keep going with what we got, because what we have is pretty okay. I'll do that. Probably gonna get me killed, but I don't really care that much. Nope, still not found it yet. I'm gonna keep trying, chat. Don't you worry. We'll keep looking. Eventually, we will find it. I felt like it was pretty common there for a while. Like it would show up almost every floor, at least once. Now I'm having a really hard time finding it. I'm finding classic things that I like the green bolt. I really like the green magic bolt because it's super good. It digs. It's got 13 damage. It's fast. There's the one that kind of cuts through the terrain. The blue arrow spell, whatever that one's called. The shotgun pellets, triplicate bolt is what I think they call that one. A lot of my favorites are around. Damn it, fish, get out of the way. Trying to find some wands, so maybe get the good spell we're looking for here. Well, we know that one's no good because I saw an egg appear. We don't really care about eggs. I had like 100 health a second ago, chat. I'm down to 60 now. That's how quickly that situation turned foobar on me. That was like something like 60 to over 80 health lost in a second. Just because there were a bunch of dudes and they all shot me at once. And that's very common. That is a very common occurrence. Look at how much health I have out of the total I had. Look at that bar. It is almost gone. And that is just my every waking moment in this game. Constantly dying. Never surviving. Especially when I come across a bunch of dudes that shoot guns. That motherfucker did 30 damage in one hit. Trying to stay far enough back that they can't get an angle on me. And I've got my shots firing. Because the thing that they're using to their advantage is they're like off screen shooting at me. Can't see where they're at. So I can't retaliate because I can't see where they're fucking shooting from. Like that. And they're hitting me from off screen. Those filthy ass cheaters. I'm trying to use that same technique to kind of back up out of their range and shoot them from afar. Is having limited success. This is going to be the last run, I think, though, because it's getting late. One enemy. One shot. That's all it'll take. Trying to be as conservative as I fucking can about this. And I'm just gonna have an enemy come up from behind and bit me in the ass. And I'm gonna be dead. Made it. Still no freaking thing. But this, oh, I guess there's only 10. There's only 10 uses. Damn. If that was unlimited, that'd be super good. But it does not have unlimited uses. Oh. Hello. Now it will have unlimited uses. Oh. Or will it? No, it will not. God, that's so annoying. Okay, never mind. Screw it. Okay, I was gonna say, if that's freezing liquid, I will have just fucked myself. But it is not freezing liquid, it is invisible shit, which is fine. I want it to be water, though. So I'm going to take the time to get the water. So I am always on fire or poisoned. And I do not have immunity to either or. Hopefully those don't hurt me. Lost so much health already, chat. I haven't even barely gotten out of the starting area and I'm already dying. I lost at least 25% or more already. It's because that one enemy just kept spawning more. That one enemy had the power to screw me. Should have used that. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I guess didn't get to see the goddamn orbiting shit. But it's 1:30 and I'm very, very tired. So I will have to call that bunch of fireballs at once wand the best I can do tonight, which is not very good still, but... And I had the goddamn orbiting saw blade and fucking immediately died without even making it out of the holy mountain, which you can normally not die in. But in my defense, I really did not think it would destroy the... I mean, I saw it putting little holes in the ground, but they were just like little bitty specks of missing terrain. I just didn't think that would add up to enough damage to warrant the gods being pissed off. Like, really? It damaged the environment enough to summon the gods to kill me? When the one that shoots the fucking exploding fireballs doesn't do that? Okay. Anywho. Thank you for watching hopefully my homebody stream and my Noita stream. Like I said, Riven VR is like on the hot list. So that shit will probably be the next stream. I can't promise it because in addition to needing to feel up to VR, I also need like some time because it's a bit of a setup, and like Riven already is just a kind of a slow paced game, so I need time for that. Tomorrow is a pretty good day for it because I have nothing going on, no plans, but that can change, so I will not promise it. But I will promise you this, that I will try my best to preface and go for Riven VR over other things. If the Halloween stuff that's coming out next week takes precedence, then it takes precedence, but I will try to get you a VR Riven stream soon. So, hold on there. Hold in there. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a great night.